Sioux Empire United Way meets the needs within our community by funding more than 80 different services. We help children, vulnerable adults, and people in crisis. Good happens across our community every day through United Way funded programs, and that is especially true now as our community handles the impact of COVID-19. Today we have joining us is Stacy Stahl from EmBe. Good morning, Stacy.
Good morning, Annie. Thanks for having me.
I'm so glad. I know, happy Friday, yes. I'm so excited. Hopefully we have some sun coming soon.
I know.
So why don't you go ahead and start off with telling us a little bit more about EmBe?
Sure. So EmBe is an organization that has served the Sioux Empire, the Sioux Falls community and the surrounding area for nearly 100 years. We started out serving women through the YWCA. These are women that would come off the farm or from their small towns and come to work in the big city, working in the shops down on Phillips Avenue in Maine, and maybe they were nurses in the hospital or teachers within the school, and the YWCA was a haven for them. This is where they lived, and you know, our programming has evolved certainly since our beginnings 100 years ago, but our mission has stayed very much the same, to empower women and their families to enrich lives. And so our mission is to support women and families and all the ways that we're able to do that, to build confidence, provide professional skills, leadership, and just to empower them to be their best self. So, and we do that in a wide variety of ways through a lot of different programs, which are funded by the Sioux Empire United Way. We're thankful for that.
Awesome. Yes, you guys stay very busy all day long.
We do.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about the programming that you oversee?
Okay. So I have been with EmBe now for almost 14 years. In October, I'll celebrate my 14th year at EmBe. And I started in our Girls on the Run program. And Girls on the Run was part of the Wings for Life initiative with the Sioux Empire United Way. Way back, I mean, this was probably 15 years ago now. I know that the United Way was very instrumental in bringing this program to our community, did the research, saw the need, as you always do, serving that need, for a program for young girls that works with them on building confidence and teaching healthy living skills. And so that was a program that had just gotten its legs in that time, and was serving about 3 or 4 schools, and over the course of the last 15 years has really blossomed and grown. Families and schools have seen the need and has seen the impact of Girls on the Run. So that's kind of how I started. Evolved over the years to overseeing all of our programs. So we have a multitude of youth programs, and now have also taken on an interim role with our women's programming. So Dress for Success, women's leadership, those types of things. So within our youth department, we have 3 facets, or I should say 4 facets of our youth area. One is, as I mentioned, Girls on the Run, which is after school, and Heart and Soul, our middle school program, which uses a curriculum to teach girls about perseverance, resiliency, how to be a good friend, be connected, and it's all led by coaches in our community, volunteers that want to be role models and mentors for our girls. And what a time to really be needing this for our kids. They've been isolated and in front of screens, doing schoolwork, and just this is such a strange time for everyone, but for our kids, there's a lot of questions and just a lot of feelings of isolation. And so Girls on the Run is a program that can really support our kids to stay connected and have the tools to be empowered and be confident and be healthy even during these times. Let Me Run is another program supported by the United Way, and this serves our boys. So our 4th and 5th grade boys are able to receive some of those similar lessons in how to be a leader and a role model and learn to work as a team and be connected to those positive male and female role models in our community through this after-school program. And so that's kind of one facet of the youth programming at EmBe. Another large program that we have is our first Lego League program. And this is a program that's actually global, worldwide programming that's in that STEM arena. So kids are learning to build a robot and program the robot to do different missions. And so lots of problem solving skills, teamwork skills. And what I love about this program is that it's not just about the robot. It's not just about Legos. It's about building character. We have a couple of terms that we use in First Lego League: gracious professionalism, that we can be professionals as kids even, and be gracious in the face of competition and adversity and those types of things. And then another is cooperation. That's not a word that a lot of people know, but I love that word. Cooperation is we're competing against each other in a tournament type of situation, but we're cooperating. We might be sharing equipment or giving each other high fives and encouraging each other, even though we're competing against each other. So in First Lego League, we're able to provide camp opportunities and then league play for kids that want to create a team and participate in that. We also have a plethora of camp opportunities. Babysitting camp is one of our most popular ones. So teaching kids in that 12, 13, 14 age group how to be a safe babysitter. What does it take to run a babysitting business? What are some safety precautions that we need to take? Learning about child development. And one of the awesome things about our babysitting camp is that our kids get hands-on experience working with some of the kids in our childcare. So they get to kind of be around kids, and maybe they don't have younger siblings at home or haven't been around kids. So that's been a really awesome program that we've been able to provide for many years. And then a few other summer camps like Camp Changemaker, which encourages middle schoolers to get out and provide service to the community, learn about nonprofits. We've visited the United Way and you all have shared what you do and the impact that you make on the community. I think it's so important for middle schoolers to realize that, there's this, sometimes it's all about me and my friends and that's awesome. But there's a greater community out there that needs us. And we don't have to wait until we're an adult in order to give back. And so that's what we're teaching in that camp. In addition to Girl Ignited, which is our middle school leadership camp for girls, teaching girls, they can be a leader now within their peers, their school, their community. And then we also are able to visit with women in the community that are maybe in non-traditional fields, or women that have faced adversity and gotten, where they've been through a lot of hard work and mentorship, things like that. So that's been a really great experience. And then, of course, we have our Aquatics program. We are one of the only indoor pools in our community, and we serve a lot of kids through our swimming lesson program. In addition to lifeguard training, water safety instruction, and then we just invite a lot of organizations, other nonprofits like Boy Scouts, to come in and do some of the things that they need to do to serve their kids within our pool. So there's a lot going on in the youth department, I will have to say, and it's been kind of an interesting time dealing with this pandemic and still being able to serve our kids. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit more about what has that adjustment looked like? How have you been able to still serve your kids even from social distancing?
Sure. So with Girls on the Run, for instance, when this all happened about the second week of March, when schools, this is a school-based program. So we are able to serve and that's what we love about it, is that the girls don't have to travel anywhere to be a part of Girls on the Run. Right after school, they're going to a room at school and meeting their coaches and their group and going through the curriculum, the lessons, the activities, and the running time. So when this started and schools needed to start shutting down, we ended our Girls on the Run season in a physical sense. We were able to get a start on the season. Most of our groups have between 3 and 5 sessions that they had already received. So we were really blessed to have been able to plant the seeds of what Girls on the Run is all about before the schools unfortunately had to shut down. One of the things that we're so proud of is that Girls on the Run International, so our parent organization, they really kicked it into gear immediately on how can we still serve our girls even though we physically cannot be present with them. And so they developed a program called GOATR. So that's kind of our acronym, Girls on the Run, GOATR. They provided a program called GOATR at Home. And so GOATR at Home was something that we could send out to parents, which was a lesson complete with activities, both physical activities and then kind of arts and crafts and things that they could do at home with things that they have available to them. And we are so proud to say that we had 16 lessons of GOATR at Home. So we were able to jump right where we left off in a physical sense and continue to be in contact with our girls and communicate the Girls on the Run at Home lessons all the way through the end of our season. We were fortunate that there were many schools that wanted to think to the fall. So we're gearing up for our fall, and we're hopeful that with the modifications that Girls on the Run International has done with the programming, coupled with our partnership with the schools and our ability to keep the kids safe, that we'll be able to serve those girls that started in the spring and are now transitioned to the fall. So GOATR at Home was an amazing program. Right now we're doing an essay contest. So we have a term in Girls on the Run called Star Power. And so this is how can we activate that spirit and that power within us to really make a difference in the world. And so right now we're doing an essay contest with the girls that participated in GOATR at Home and offering a little prize and to be able to really describe how are you going to use your star power, or how have you used your star power during this pandemic. And so we're starting to receive some of those essays back, which have been really neat. So we have been able to see some of the impact of GOATR at Home happening. On the Let Me Run side, that program had not been able to start. Ironically, the Thursday that schools shut down was going to be our first day, ironically. And so most of those schools, we have been able to transition to the fall because we had not been able to even introduce the topic of Let Me Run to our boys. And they hadn't had a chance to meet our coaches and really understand what Let Me Run was all about. So we were able to provide our families a couple of lessons and kind of some premise. And also, how can we train at home to train for a 5K maybe? Or set a goal at home and be able to work through that. So we were able to send that, but as I had mentioned, we are hopeful and looking optimistically to the fall for those programs. As far as our youth volleyball program and our first LEGO League programs, those programs were just ending in March for that particular season. So volleyball had a couple of sessions left. So we were able to get more than 80% of our season in for volleyball. And then First LEGO League had finished with the state championship at the beginning of February. So we were able to serve our kids in those programs the way that we always have. And again, just looking as positively as we can and optimistically as we can to the fall for our kids.
Awesome. That's great that you guys are able to at least be able to provide something for those kids to get them through the end of the year.
And I didn't even mention, Annie, all of our summer. I mean, I'm jumping to the fall and I forget we're in summer mode right now. We have developed our babysitting camp virtual. So we have put babysitting camp on the computer and have done, you know, most of the things that we can do with them in a physical sense, but provide that for families that just aren't ready for their kids to jump into a physical camp. So we are rolling that out June 1st, and we have kids signed up. So this is new for us. This is very innovative, and we're not super technical. You know, we like to be with our kids. We like to be in the physical sense with our kids. And so virtual babysitting camp is kind of uncharted territory. However, we're really excited about it because we feel like this is a way for us to connect with kids from even some of our smaller towns in our United Way coverage area that maybe don't have transportation to come into Sioux Falls for babysitting camp, that we can serve them at home and they're able to then jump in and babysit those kiddos that live in their neighborhood and empower them to kind of create this business for themselves, you know, for something to do over the summer. So we are starting that in June. And then we also are doing our mini robotics camps virtually. So our instructor is awesome and has, you know, one of those projectors where he can be building the robot, and then we're loaning out our robots to our camp participants. So they're going to be building that robot at home under Jeremy's instruction in our facility. And so we're going to try that too, in addition to all of our summer camp experiences in the physical sense beginning June 15th. Of course, modifying things, class sizes, camp sizes will be modified and lowered because we no longer can share equipment. You know, in our Lego camps, we can't share robots, we can't share computers, we can't share table space. So we're taking those modifications and those safety precautions to be able to continue to serve in a physical sense with summer camps starting the week of June 15th. I can't believe I forgot to talk about summer. It doesn't feel like summer outside. Maybe that's why I was jumping ahead to the fall.
Yeah, you kind of forget that it should be nice and warm and sunny. And yeah, the last few weeks have just not really been very helpful with keeping your motivation high with that.
Yeah, yeah.
So why don't you tell us something about you know, what you want the community to know as we continue to go forward about EmBe?
You know, one of the special things about EmBe is that, and that what we've been really focusing on over the last couple of months is, you know, we have some really unique opportunities to serve in different ways. And as all other nonprofits have had to do, we have to think outside the box. And we have to challenge our staff to think, how can we serve and meet our mission of empowerment and support to women and families in a different way? And so that's been really challenging. But I think it's easy to make those decisions and be able to move forward when we know if we don't move forward with these ideas and these innovative solutions, that we're not serving our kids. We're not serving our mission. And so, you know, we're a staff and an organization that keeps mission in mind in all that we do. And so that hasn't changed. It's how can we do it differently? How can we think, you know, it's been 100 years. And obviously, you know, we're not serving in the same way that we served women 100 years ago. So we're already innovative. We're already thinking differently. So this is just another one of those opportunities to think that way and serve differently. So we're still here and we're still super busy and trying our best, doing what we can to serve.
Awesome. So now I have a fun question for you. What
Fun,
has
okay.
been something, enjoyable or positive that you have gained, whether it's through work or in your personal life with your family, through the social distancing and having to be at home?
One of the things is that you really start noticing the blessings and the unique opportunities that you have with your family, or unique opportunities that you can support your coworkers by being at home. And I never thought that I was a person. I'm kind of a go-getter. I gotta be with people. I gotta be doing something different every day. So you kind of learn the strengths that you have that you never thought you had. And how can I be a good teammate when I'm not with my team? How can I support my staff without being there with them? And I think on the personal side, the biggest thing that I've learned with this is to count your blessings. I mean, it's the things that we don't notice when we're busy going to work, back and forth, running to, I have a 7-year-old boy at home. When we're running to basketball and baseball and soccer, and you're constantly running, and just having this opportunity to just settle and realize we can have fun just going out and playing in the yard or creating something from recyclables in our house. It's realizing that those small things make a really big difference, and you haven't been able to see the small things because you're so busy living your crazy life. So that's probably one of the things I've noticed.
That's awesome. I would say that too. I mean, we don't have kids, but it's been kind of nice not having all of the events and the networking and this going on and that going on and rushing from one place to the next. So it's kind of been nice to relax a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree. The one thing that hasn't changed is I still don't know what to make for dinner. I'm still sitting at my computer at like 30 in the afternoon thinking, what for dinner? Oh, I have to feed these people every single day, 3 meals a day now instead of 2.
Yep.
A little challenging. So, but I haven't become a gourmet cook while staying at home. So unfortunately for my family.
Yeah, that is the hardest thing. Every day I'm like, have we had this in the last 2 weeks? Can I make this again? So yeah, it's a challenge.
Or you see on Facebook everybody doing all these home projects and, oh, I'm going to do this and that. And I'm like, I'm just trying to, because, you're just as busy with work when you're sitting at home doing it. I have a greater appreciation for those that work from home on a regular basis. I mean, there is a lot of work to do, but there's almost more work to do because you're having to technical side, the challenges of working with technology and, having to set up meetings in a different way. And it almost feels like it's more work to be working from home. And then the balance, when you've got home responsibilities as well. Mm-hmm. Folks that can do projects on top of it, I don't know how they do it, but I have not been able to do anything differently than just literally let's keep everybody alive around here.
That's great. Yeah, I hear you. Well, thank you so much for taking the afternoon or this morning and meeting with us and telling us a little bit more about what you do and the impact that EmBe's been able to do through all of this too. So we do greatly appreciate your time and all that you do.
Thank you, Annie. And, we wouldn't be able to do anything of, any of the programs without the support of the United Way. So I really appreciate being able to share with the United Way community and their constituents, donors, those that are in the community that support the United Way. You're supporting the United Way, but you're supporting what we're doing at EmBe and being able to, continue to be productive and serve during this pandemic. We wouldn't be able to do that without that support. So we really appreciate that and appreciate the time and the interview.
Awesome. Well, great. Well, have a great rest of your day and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, Annie.